Alright, this is the motor mount for Franky, and this, I'll take this out. This is the stock Lincoln motor mount bolt, and we snapped it right off. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this off, and we are going to go with a piece of pipe which is much bigger, and this is going to go through there, and we are going from this size to this size. Okay, from 3/8 to 1/2 inch. Well, we'll see what happens. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out the piece of pipe here for that held the 3/8, and I'm going to weld in a section of pipe that'll hold a 1/2 inch bolt, and then we'll mount it all back in, tack it all up, and then take it off and weld it and put it back in, and we should be good to go with a much larger motor mount bolt. Always something, huh? But yeah, I thought this would work. I said, well, what the heck? It's it's the stock Lincoln bolt, but then again, this was engineered to work with an automatic transmission in a much larger car with a little bit less horsepower, and I think the high horsepower with the standard transmission put too much pressure on the bolt, too soon, too much too soon. Rather than the automatic, it just sheared it right off. So that's what I'm going to do, and cool. Okay, there it is. See it in between the I'm running a 1/2 inch bolt. I'm going to put a locking nut on this end. Right now it's just a regular nut sitting on the end of it, and it's got to be painted, pulled off and painted up. But now what I did a little bit different too is, before it was just this 1/8 piece of steel pushing down on the bolt, and I think that's what it concentrated too much force in one smaller area on the bolt, on the 3/8 bolt. So what I did was I took the piece of pipe and I cut it here, so now what's pushing down on the bolt is a wider contact area. It's like almost a 1/2 inch wide. It goes from this edge to flush with here, so it's a wider area pushing down on the bolt. It won't tend to shear the bolt as much. And I did the same thing on the other side. You see, there's what I did was I took the pipe and I put it right straight through, welded it, and then I cut it. And what you see here is the width of this gap is 2 of the widths of the cutting disc, because I cut it on one side, then I cut it on the other side. This side is flush, so it leaves this gap. That's how much material was cut out. But I wanted it to put it through there, then put the bolt through, so I knew it lined up, then cut it, and then welded the center section to the lower motor mount that bolts to the frame. And the two outer pieces, this one and this one, welded to the upper motor mount. So that's what I did. I slid the pipe in. I had the upper motor mount off. Well, first I put it all together to make sure it would fit. Then I took it all apart, slid the pipe in the upper motor mount, welded it in. Then I cut it, took the center section out, took the upper motor mount, bolted it to the motor, took the bottom motor mount without the pipe welded on yet, bolted it to the frame. Then I took the pipe and I placed it where it had to be with the bolt through it to hold the motor in place, because I had a jack under the motor, under the oil pan, holding it up. And then I just welded the pipe in place. And then took the jack down and all that crap. But that's it. She's in there. Heavier duty, you got a little, the chain is, I should probably take some of the slack out just to eliminate some of the jump. But I'd have to modify the bottom bracket, cut it, make it shorter. So, whatever. So that's done. Cool.